Okay, we are live. Welcome to our session that I have share my experience for participating in Google Certified Educator examination. So I hope you will enjoy our little walkthrough for preparing yourself. It was a really nice experience for me, and I'm happy to share it with you all. So today I have prepared a little presentation for you all uh, to understand it better. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I hope you all can see, and there is a question and answers section at the end of the presentation. So feel free to list out all your questions or queries that you may have, and use the question and answer button to list your questions. So let me go on with it. This is me, and I would like to share how I started all this. So first of all, I work as an assistant director in Daffodil International University, and this is actually the start for me, because when I started working in Daffodil International University, I started working with the Google apps in my works. So that at the first made me confident enough to reach out to this certification. So the next thing that comes is the definitely the Google Educators group that I have joined as a leader. And it was also because of Daffodil International University. They arranged the summit last year in 2014 that uh, uh, made me more confident, and that is how I was able to get in the attention of Google certified teachers to get into this program. So again, thanks to Daffodil International University for giving me this opportunity to join as a leader as Google Educator Groups. And again, to those who actually recommended me to be a leader in this group. And the next thing is the actual achievement that I have done already. It is the Certified Educator Level 1, and good thing then that I have passed it successfully, and I'm happy with it. So this is the agenda that we will discuss today. First is understanding what a Google Certified Educator is. Then why would we need Google Certified Educator exam, and the exam requirements, and lastly how to prepare for the exam so that you can actually take it. And after that, I will be discussing some of my experience that I have faced during the exam or preparing for the exam. So let's move on to our first agenda. Oh, and before that, this is the certification that I have achieved. And you will be aiming for the same too. So this is the certificate. Okay. So what actually is Google Certified Educator? Well, the certificate I just showed you just a little moment ago actually says what uh, it's all about. So it says, or you can say that this is a certification awarded to people for demonstrating the advanced knowledge, skills, and competencies needed to implement and integrate Google for Education tools. So after this certification, you will be more confident that you have achieved some skills that will enable you to use the Google Apps for Education in education to enhance the teaching and learning enhancement. So this certification is actually all about how you integrate Google tools in educational environment. And it's not a certification that certifies you as a good teacher or better teacher than anyone who hasn't certified with this program. So this is just a little warning that do not brag about yourself being Google Certified Educator and you are a better teacher than anyone else. It's not that. It just says that you have the advanced knowledge to use Google tools in education to enhance their learning experience. That definitely comes in handy when you actually teach students, because that way you can make your classes more engaging, and that is really something to aim for any educator or teacher. So this is just um, something extra you need for the 21st century uh, and to enhance student skills. So why would you need Google Certified Educator exam? I have listed few things that would give you the idea um, why you should be aiming for Google Certified Educator exams. So first of all, training comes with greater insight about Google Apps. When you will be preparing for the certification exams, you first need to go through a extensive training course. So that course will teach you more of the things that you would normally not practice in your works or in your activities. But when you are doing the training, you will see some of the features that are new. It's not because these are newly added, because uh, you never actually notice them, and that is the important thing about this about the training program, because uh, this gives you the little insights that you might need in the exam. So secondly, learning while taking the exam, and this is somewhat from my experience. I can tell you the exams are designed in a way that you actually need to demonstrate your abilities through some activities faced in the exam. So the exam is actually scenario based, and you will be having some activities set that you need to actually perform uh, in a demo account that they will create for you during the exam. So while you are doing the activities and following the instructions, you will come to know some of the features that you might have totally ignored up until now. So this is great. You will be learning even during the exam. Get more confident, and definitely after giving the exam, you will feel confident. Then you actually have achieved something, and this will be great to share with others. And I would highly encourage you all to reach out to other fellow educators and show them how you have benefited from the exam. And I would also request you to reach out to your colleagues and fellow educators to show them how to use Google tools in their in enhancing their student skills and abilities. Then a certificate and a certification is of your skills in using Google Apps to enhance teaching and learning environment that I've already shared. That this certification will declare that you have the required skills to apply Google Apps to enhance teaching and learning environment. A digital badge to share and display your achievement. When you pass the exam, you will be having your certificate and a digital badge that you can actually display in your signatures, so in your blogs, in your website, to display that you have achieved Google Certified Educator, uh, that you are a Google Certified Educator. So the requirement for exams. Uh, this is actually a long description, but I have put a short note of it. Stable internet connection. This is actually the most important thing you need to keep in your mind while preparing for the exam, because the exam is, as you can see here, 3 hours long, and you will need a stable internet connection to avoid disconnection in the exam. Even if you disconnect for some reason, you will have about 5 minutes to reconnect. That is also another thing to keep in your mind. And it is better to have backup plans. For me, I faced 2 disconnections during the exams, and uh, I was lucky enough that I had some data left in my mobile, and I had to use my mobile as mobile to use the data to continue the exam. So just ensuring that you have a stable broadband connection is not enough. You need to have a backup plan in your mind, so that if something goes wrong with the connection, you can reconnect immediately and continue with the exam. Then a working webcam. You will need a working webcam that during the exam Google will be using to monitor you, and they will be taking random pictures, so that there is no plagiarism involved. So this is actually a good thing, that to ensure that people are doing this seriously, and people actually prepare themselves for the exam before taking the exams. And the next thing, I have already discussed, that you need to have 3 hours in your hand to go through the whole process of the exam. The exam is extensive. It comes with 2 parts. One is MCQ, and other is demonstrating your abilities through some set of scenarios. So in the MCQ part, you need to prove that you have the adequate knowledge about the tools, and you will need some of the little details, and this is why the training course comes in handy, because the training course will provide you with insights that you might need in this part. The next part is, of course, demonstrating your abilities, and you will have a demo account. You need to have your exam module always open during the 3 hours, and closing the modules will result in a failure. So it's better, and even they suggest it's better to pin your exam module in your Google Chrome browser, and so that you do not accidentally close the module. And from that module you need to follow the instructions and get the scenarios, and you need to open some other windows or other tabs in your browser to log into your demo account and actually perform the actions that they require. Level 1 exam will cost you about $10. This is important. It's a $10 exam price. For preparing or going through the course, you actually do not need to spend anything, but the exam will cost you, the first exam of course, will cost you $10. And to pay it, you need to have a credit card. It may be a Visa card or MasterCard, or if you have any other options like PayPal, it may also be a good option. So these are the things you need to pay before you actually sit for the exam. So how do you prepare for the exam? First of all, you need to go through the fundamental training that Google has prepared for you. You can get it easily by searching Google certification in Google. The first link would be the one you will be looking for. And I have also shorten a link for you here in the presentation. It's gg.gg/gce1 course. So if you go to this link, you will be able to go to the website where you will get the fundamental training program. The fundamental training programs actually include a few lessons and units. Each unit will have one or two or maybe more lessons. You need to go through all of them, and I also recommend that you do that, because the little details will come very useful, will become very useful for your preparation. Without the little details, I personally believe that it would be really hard for you to pass the exam. So go for that. Also, when you are doing the fundamental training, each lesson will have a sample exam for you to test your skills that you have learned from the lessons. And also, when you complete a unit, you will also have a unit exam that can further test your abilities and learnings through the fundamental training. So these are absolute requirement for the for your preparation for the Google Certified Educator Level 1. And the next thing you need to keep in your mind is to practice what you learn from the exam. So this is something I have done also. It's very difficult to demonstrate the activities that are put in the scenarios in the exam modules. Uh, you need to keep in mind that if you do not practice in your real life situation, you will find it very hard to look for things that they require in the exam. So it is better not to confuse yourself during the exam, and practice practice the things you learn from the fundamental training, so that in the exam you find it easy to do all the activities. While the exam time is 3 hours, the activities are extensive, and 3 hours might not be enough for you to do all the activities if you do not have proper practice. So practice and practice. Join communities. There are several communities that give you insight about the exam itself, or for preparing yourself for the exam. There are communities like us, the Google Educator groups, and this is actually a worldwide community, and there are several other GEGs in the world. You can see if you can join some of them, because they really share some good insights and some good events that will prepare you to take the exams. There are also some communities like Google Classroom community, where you can send your queries if you are finding it difficult to practice the Google apps. If you face any issues regarding Google Apps for education, you can post your queries to them, and they will reach out to you. And they are really very helpful people out there in the communities. And the help you will get from them uh, is going to be a handy tool for you to prepare for the exam. Follow collections. In Google Plus, there are some collections you can see, and there are collections that share GAFE tips and techniques and insights about the exam, or about how you can use the tools in education arena. So following some of the collections will prepare yourself too. So the next thing you can do is to subscribe blogs that share GAFE tips. GAFE means Google Apps for Education tips and tricks. So there are plenty of blogs you can find by simply searching for it in the Google. So reach out to them and subscribe to them, because the insight they are sharing are very good for your preparation. They also share up-to-date information and up-to-date uh, I mean the new Google apps that are being released gradually. So you can always remain up to date by following the blogs. Um, and the next thing you can do is subscribing YouTube channels that share GAFE tutorials. This is very important because you get a different kind of training from the YouTube, and YouTube is actually great for posting tutorials. So a lot of channels are out there who share GAFE tutorials, from which you can easily learn the things you will need for the exam. So now I would like to share my experience uh, during GAFE, during the examination. It was basic exam. The things you need to demonstrate are not things that are very hard, but um, it's hard somewhat, because if you do not practice enough, and if you do not have the little insight that the fundamental training gives you, it becomes really hard for you to keep up during the exam, because the 3 hours will not be enough for you, and you will get confused. You will be searching for options that the activities wants you to demonstrate. So, from my experience, I would like to again request you to uh, go through the training materials before taking the exam, and prepare yourself well, because you will be needing the little details in the exam. And the training programs again comes in handy, because I have already shared that the things that the training programs teach you are great, and you actually will increase your insights and abilities through the training, that actually make you more confident for taking the exam. Make sure that you do not have connection or electricity issues, taking proper measures to ensure backup for both internet connection and electricity, especially in Bangladesh, is absolute. absolute for you to ensure. Without it, you will be facing a lot of troubles. For example, I had 2 times internet connection issues during the exam, which was really frustrating for me. But luckily, I had some mobile data, and I was able to use it to continue with the exam. So this is about my experience, and let's move on to questions. So let's hide the So let's hide my presentation and go to the questions tab to see if you have any questions. So if you have anything in your mind, you can list the questions by going through the question and answer tab. If there is any questions. Okay. So let's wait for some questions before leaving the session. And in the meantime, let's share some insights with you. Okay, so this is the training center where you can prepare yourself for the Google Certified Educator Level 1 and Level 2 both. For starter, I recommend you to go through the Educator Level 1 program, and this is where you register for the exam, register for the Level 1 exam. And here you can find the fundamental trainings. So these are the lessons, and these sections are the units. Okay. So in this lesson, you will find that there are 2 units, and in this lesson you have several other units. It's a really large lesson. Sometimes this training can become boring if you are going through if you're trying to going through them all. So I recommend after training, go through each of them and do it in your free time or when you feel comfortable with it. So this is how the lessons look like. So in the first of all, they will tell you that share with you the lesson objectives. So these are the objectives, and when you're ready, you can just move uh, and click the next button to get started. Here in the training lesson, you will see that they share some insights with you, which will come in handy for you to go through the multiple choice questions. And there are some activities set here also, and some videos that will also prepare you well enough. And if you are having trouble viewing the video, you can also download the view and download the transcript from here. And again, some activities set for you in the lessons. And as I have already shared that after all every lesson you will have some sample questions that you can complete to see whether you're learning well or not. So these questions itself are enough to guide you, because when you pick something and uh, click the button check answer, it will tell you that uh, you are not right, or you are right, and guide you through the right answer. So if you fail once, you can retake it and check for the correct answer. So these training programs are really well, and after the uh, fundamental trainings, you will feel really confident that you can take the exams. Okay, so no questions so far. The session will also be available in YouTube, and also in this event page this will also remain. So if you have any queries, or if you want to know more about the examinations, feel free to ask to me, and through commenting in the event site, or you can comment in the YouTube video, or you can go to our GG, that is Google Educators Group Dhaka South, and post your queries and comments so that we can reach out to you and show and share our experience with you and prepare you for the exam. So I hope this session was useful to you. If not, you can also recommend how we can improve the session further, so that we can consider it for the next session. So I wish you all the best for taking the exam and preparing for the exam. So listen it. Thank you all.